For nearly 4 decades, the top strength athletes from around the globe have gathered to face epic challenges of power, toughness, endurance, and desire in pursuit of the biggest honor in their sport. Now it's time for another name to be added to that list of champions. Will it be Lithuania's Žydrūnas Savickas, quite simply the most decorated strongman in history? Will it be American Brian Shaw, who revolutionized the sport with his combination of size and athleticism? Will it be Iceland's Hafþór Julius Bjornsson finally fulfilling his unbelievable potential? Or will it be a surprise contender who emerges to capture the title? This is the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final. Welcome to Putrajaya, Malaysia, and the biggest stage for the sport of strength athletics, the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final. Hi everybody, Brent Stover alongside Aaron Taylor. Today, after what was a punishing qualifying round, the 10 best strongmen from around the globe will face 6 unique and massive tests of strength. And the favorites are the 3 guys who right now are competing at a whole different level. Let's begin, Aaron, with the athletes that know what it's like to stand on the top step of the podium.
Yeah, after failing to defend his title a year ago, American Brian Shaw has done everything possible in the last 365 days to prepare himself for this moment. The big man from Colorado wants to eventually be the best this sport's ever known, and a 3rd championship would certainly help him build that case. Now, as fate would have it, the guy who I think is currently the best of all time is also his main adversary here, and that's 39-year-old Žydrūnas Savickas of Lithuania. Now, Big Z, as he's known, has earned 4 titles in an unbelievable career thanks to his trademark power.
We also have an Icelandic superstar whose fame just continues to grow.
Yeah, Hafþór Julius Bjornsson may be better known as playing the mountain on Game of Thrones, but here he's known as the guy that could break up the domination that Shaw and Savickas have recently had over the sport. At just 26 years old, he's already had a trio of top 3 finishes, and it's just a matter of time before he's a champion.
Before we head out to the action, let's meet the field of 10 for the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final.
Mark Felix, Great Britain.
GF Caron, Canada.
Jerry Pritchett, United States.
Dimitar Savatinov, Bulgaria.
Mikhail Shivlikov, Russia.
Eddie Hall, Great Britain.
Mike Burke, United States.
Hafþór Julius Bjornsson, Iceland.
Brian Shaw, United States.
Žydrūnas Savickas, Lithuania.
The first event is a super yoke, and Aaron, we're giving the people what they want. That is, if they wanted to be carried by a bunch of strong men.
That's right. The strong men will need to carry 1,100 pounds on their shoulders for 20 meters. The weight of the load is comprised of the steel frame and the 3 people sitting on the benches on either side. Better buckle up for this ride.
Now, Heat 1, Jerry Pritchett from the USA had an injury scare with his left quad in qualifying, but is healthy enough to be a go in the final. JF Caron of Canada, making his 3rd appearance in a World's Strongest Man final. His best finish was 8th in 2012. Dimitar Savatinov is only 5'9", but possesses plenty of power in his frame. The Bulgarian is a former circus strongman. Like Savatinov, former Russian Marine Mikhail Shivlikov is making his first appearance in the World's Strongest Man final. If someone is going to break the stranglehold that Savickas, Shaw, and Bjornsson have on the sport, it just might be Great Britain's Eddie Hall. He's got to be the dark horse here.
I think they're all dark horses with 1,100 pounds in this heat and humidity here in Putrajaya. But this is the final, Brent. We should see some great efforts. And right out of the gate, Savatinov from Bulgaria with a quick pace.
And Savatinov really good.
Shivlikov dropped that weight early. It's going to be hard for him to get that momentum going. And Eddie Hall, slow and steady Eddie, looking good here and starting to take a lead.
Eddie Hall strong to the finish. He's pulling away from the field. Eddie Hall crosses the line in first. 27.28 for the British strongman. JF Caron almost there, not quite. Savatinov still working. And now Caron back up and across the line in 39.02.
Not surprising as those two competitors have among the strongest legs in this competition. But man, Savatinov, his legs almost hyperextended there. He's had enough.
He got up to such a good start. In the end, it's Eddie Hall and JF Caron, the first two, and the only two to finish from this first group.
It's not possible to be more focused and locked in than Eddie Hall was just there. Eddie just wanted to make sure that every step was right, and I don't blame him when he's got 1,100 pounds resting on those big shoulders. He's fired up.
Now Heat 2. It's been 8 years since Mark Felix last qualified for the final. The British strongman is the oldest competitor in the field at 49. The USA's Mike Burke was 5th in 2013, 4th in 2014. The 40-year-old Burke has said this is his last competition. At 6'9", 396 pounds, Iceland's Hafthor Julius Bjornsson should be an immense factor here as he pursues a first championship. American Brian Shaw, the champ in both 2011 and 2013, another giant at 6'8", 415. He's desperate for another title. And Zydrunas Savickas, the four-time champion, looks just as good as ever at the age of 39. He's going to need to be if he plans to hold off guys like Shaw and Bjornsson.
I'm looking forward to this race. Any one of these 5 competitors could win this thing. Brian Shaw out of the gate quickly, but again, we saw in that last race, slow and steady may win the day.
Shaw looks good. So too does Hafthor Julius Bjornsson.
Bjornsson making a nice comeback and pulling away at the end. Wow.
Bjornsson crosses and he wins the event. Brian Shaw next. Burke still out there working. Big Z crosses the line to finish 3rd. Burke in a battle to get to the finish, and finally he crosses. Felix still out there working, and he will call it quits.
Just incredible efforts across the board. Brian Shaw got to be disappointed with that second place in the yoke with a time of 18:82.
Big Z finishes 3rd, 24.84 here in the Super Yoke.
The winner of the Super Yoke with a time of
Hafthor Julius Bjornsson wins the event, 17.09 seconds. So the Super Yoke pretty much held to form. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson victorious, covering that 20-meter course in an unbelievable time. Brian Shaw settled for 2nd, Zydrunas Savickas 3rd, Eddie Hall 4th, Mike Burke was 5th. The winner is with Bill Kazmaier.
Hafthor, what did it feel like when you got ahead of Brian? Did you know you were going to win?
I was quite confident. I've been training this event very, very hard the last year. This actually shows how much I've been training and how much hard work I've been putting in. So I'm very, very happy and glad.
Well, you're making everybody from Iceland proud. Keep it up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hafthor Julius Bjornsson plays the mountain on TV, and he's proving to be an absolute colossus here in Putrajaya, Malaysia. But can the Icelandic superstar win his first title? We'll get the answer as the Commerce World's Strongest Man final continues.
The 2015 Commerce World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports is sponsored by the Commerce Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas-style entertainment, Los Angeles attractions.
Welcome back to the Commerce World's Strongest Man final in the picturesque city of Putrajaya, Malaysia. This challenge for our strong men is the deadlift.
And it'll be a nice little workout for their lower backs, hips, and legs. We're just not looking for a single rep here, though, of the 814-pound barbell. Instead, the athletes will need to produce as many reps as possible in 60 seconds.
Mike Burke, the framing contractor from Colorado, comes to the deadlift off a 5th place finish in the opening event. In this all North American heat, his opponent is Canada's JF Caron, who is in 6th place after one event. We've already had 4 strongmen step out and try the deadlift, and the co-leaders are Mark Felix of Great Britain and Jerry Pritchett of the USA, who each had 3 repetitions.
Now, we know that Mike Burke is a great overhead presser, but here in the deadlift, he's going to need his legs to come through for him, just like JF Caron's are through 2 reps. Burke struggling with that weight. JF looking good. Now, Brent, because of this thin bar you see that he's holding there, that weight is live. It really starts to move, which puts a lot of pressure on these guys because they have to use extra strength to stabilize it. Look at that.
Burke is simply a bystander at this point, watching Caron get his 5th rep. Burke is checked out with 1, and now Caron calls it quits. But a very good number posted. Burke tied for 4th in the deadlift with just his 1 rep. While JF Caron, he's your leader in the event with 5 reps.
Well, one thing about strongman is that it's not always going to be pretty, but JF Caron's methods were definitely effective as he grinded his way through that 5th rep. He's fired up, and he should be.
Now the next team, that's Zydrunas Savickas of Lithuania. The defending champion comes in here in 3rd place after 1 event. Next to him is Eddie Hall of Great Britain, who finished 4th in the opening event.
Neither of these guys are used to being beaten in the deadlift, so this should be a heavyweight shootout. Eddie Hall is the current world record holder in the deadlift max, and Big Z's held that record himself over the years. Notice a little bit wider base by Big Z. Both of these competitors are barefoot. The bare feet allow for the proper stability with the ground as these guys push through their heels to get that big weight moving. Nice technique by Hall here in the foreground.
The number to beat is 5, set by JF Caron. And Eddie Hall just got his 5th.
The Lithuanian slow and steady over there on the right side of the screen, though, but the big Brit Eddie Hall looking powerful.
Eddie Hall moves into the lead here in the deadlift with 6, and Big Z fighting it to get his 5th.
And I'm telling you, this is the 2nd event in a row where you're used to seeing Big Z perform a little bit better, particularly in the deadlift, but Eddie Hall is the one putting on the show.
7 for Hall as he goes to his knees. Savickas checks out. You said heavyweight shootout, and that's exactly what we just saw. Hall into the lead with 7 reps in the deadlifts, while Zydrunas Savickas, the 4-time champion, he's currently in a tie for 2nd with JF Caron, both with 5 reps.
Yeah, after Zydrunas Savickas had tapped out, Eddie Hall says, "Yes, I think I'll have another." What an effort to lift over 5,600 pounds in under a minute. Outstanding.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Now the final pair. Iceland's half-Thor Julius Bjornsson. He started off this final in style by winning the opening event. Brian Shaw was runner-up to Bjornsson at the loading race. But the 2-time champion from Fort Lupton, Colorado, is the favorite in this matchup.
Yeah, and it's going to be important for Brian to win here and put some daylight between himself and both Bjornsson and Savickas on the scoreboard.
Again, the number to beat is 7, put up by Eddie Hall.
Now the deadlift is one of the universal benchmarks of strength. And Brian Shaw and Bjornsson looking strong here. Think of the legs and glutes and hips as the motor, and then the back is the transmission as they start to drive through their heels, up their back, down their arms, and lift that weight.
5 apiece. Now a 6th for Shaw. 7 the mark to beat.
Shaw just looking more focused and in control than Bjornsson, who's really having to struggle here.
Shaw with his 7th time for the lead. Bjornsson trying to get to a 7th rep. Can he get the job done?
Whoa, looks like he was tapping out and then lost his footing in those bare socks to boot.
He's still down over there. We'll check on him in a moment. Meantime, Shaw locks out for his 8th, and he wins the event. Brian Shaw takes the deadlift with 8 reps as he double checks with the referee. Now the other story here is Bjornsson, and look at that, it takes 4 guys to pick up a 400-pound strongman. And hopefully he's okay. 3rd place here in the deadlifts for the man from Iceland. He gets 6 reps. Brian Shaw lifted over 6,500 pounds in 60 seconds. That's an honest day's work, but there's much more to come And right now, he's standing by with Bill Kazmaier.
Brian, you took it with 8 reps. How hard was that?
Yeah, it was a big weight. Tough conditions, hot, humid, and I had to get it done, so I did what I had to do.
You're now the new leader. Are you confident?
Yeah, it's good to be at the top of the leaderboard. We got a lot of events left, so I just got to bring it on everything.
You're doing fantastic. Keep it up.
Thanks, Kaz.
Brian Shaw was victorious in the event. 8 repetitions. Eddie Hall second. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson third. A huge surprise that Big Z ended up in 4th place in a tie with JF Caron. Mike Burke's chances of contending were severely hurt. He tied for 8th. After 2 events, it's now Shaw in possession of the overall lead with 19 points. Bjornsson is just 1 point back in 2nd. Hall is 3rd. Shaw will be relieved that Zaviskis, his biggest rival, is now 4.5 points off the lead. We go to Bill Kazmaier, standing by at the next event.
Brent, this event isn't so much about man versus man. It's about man versus machine. Actually, it's about man versus mega machine. The start can be everything here. To get the 61,600-pound vehicle moving, it will take tremendous leg drive, efficient upper body power, and an iron will to complete the 25-meter course. Maintaining momentum will be an almost impossible chore, since pain will be constantly growing, while strength is diminishing with every step. Someone's gonna win the truck pull, but they'll have to pay a heavy toll to do it. We'll see it when we return to the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final in Putrajaya, Malaysia.
We're back in Putrajaya, Malaysia for the 3rd event of the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final, the truck pull.
This is a ridiculous test of strength because the truck checks in at 61,600 pounds, and the idea is to pull it over a 25-meter course on an incline. Have fun with that, boys.
Zydrunas Savickas is arguably the greatest strength athlete in history, but he feels there's still much more to be accomplished. The Lithuanian is the subject of the Commerce Hotel and Casino Power Profile.
It was a dream to win the 4th World's Strongest Man title. Great to be in one line with John Paul Sigmarsson and Magnus Vermagnusson. Only Mariusz Pudzianowski won 5 World's Strongest Man titles. To join him will be a big honor for me. I am 39 years old and I compete in strongman sport already 24 years. And still I am one of the best athletes in this sport. I keep competing because I want to be strongest ever.
Man, it's amazing to think that Zydrunas Savickas first competed in this event way back in 1998, and the guy is not showing any signs of slowing down.
Big Z is currently in 4th place overall, but he has this truck pull and 3 more events to climb to the top of the leaderboard.
You listen to that grunt and that breathing, very rhythmic. This event is tailor-made for Zydrunas Savickas. Those big arms, big calves, glutes, quads, hammies. He's in a nice rhythm, got a great body lean. He's got the mass, but this truck is 61,600 pounds. That's like pulling 3 garbage trucks in a row. Unbelievable what he's being asked to do here.
Aaron, toss in the incline that he's hitting right now, and this is an absolute gargantuan test. They pulled a bus in the qualifying, and now a much larger truck here in the finals as he comes towards the finish line with time running out.
You hear his breathing slowing down. Big Z is reaching his max.
And there it is. Zydrunas Savickas pulls that truck 22.88 meters, and he sets the mark to beat.
Yeah, Big Z has to be wondering if that parking brake was on that thing, man. Seriously, though, he went all out, non-stop for 60 seconds and still came up short of the 25-meter mark. So it's safe to say this one is on the difficult side.
That takes us to the man who's 2nd in the overall standings, Hafthor Julius Bjornsson of Iceland.
You hear that growl there, and I don't know if Hafthor had a stunt double on Game of Thrones, but this truck pull certainly would be a good time to call him if he did.
Well, he was really, really scary in that show, and when he gets up to the camera with that growl, pretty scary as well. But the feat that he's facing with this truck, it's no joke.
We just saw 4 strains to get this truck past its initial inertia. Usually on a bus pull, whether it's 19 tons or such, they only have to use 2. This is an unbelievable weight that the big Icelandic giant is pulling here.
Hafthor Julius Bjornsson, one of the best in the world.
He's a former basketball player, but to use some football terminology, when you get tired, your pad level starts to get higher, and he's got his head down now. He's reaching his max. His muscles are thirsty for some oxygen. He's giving everything he can here, but the truck seems to be winning.
He's approaching that distance set by Zydrunas, but I don't think he's going to get there. Time runs out, and he's short of that mark. He will settle for second place, at least for the moment. 20.83 meters is the distance for Iceland's Hafthor Julius Bjornsson. The finish line is yet to be threatened in this impossibly heavy truck pull. But so far, it's 4-time champion Zydrunas Savickas leading the way. Big Z's result will be challenged by Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw when the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final returns to Putrajaya, Malaysia. Welcome back to the scenic city of Putrajaya, Malaysia's administrative capital, for the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final. Red Stover, Aaron Taylor, Bill Kazmaier with you. The third of 6 unique challenges for the finalists might just be the most demanding one. It's the truck pull. 8 of 10 competitors have taken the 61,600-pound vehicle out on the road, but none have finished the 25-meter course. The leader is 4-time champion Zydrunas Savickas with a distance of 22.88 meters. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson is second, and here's Eddie Hall. He faces the daunting task. The strongman from Great Britain enters this event in third place in the overall standings.
Yeah, and he's seen 8 other guys go, so he knows this is going to be a full-throttle gut-buster.
It's very advantageous the later you go, as you get to watch the other guys struggle before you.
And you can learn from their mistakes as a result. See where guys struggle. Have a game plan. Use your mind to visualize what it is you need to do during this unbelievable test of strength and will.
22.88 meters is the mark to beat. That was set by Zydrunas Savickas.
I love the forward body lean of Eddie Hall. He looks so powerful, so steady, connected. Love his breathing. Feeding those big muscles as he pulls on that rope with those pythons.
He's got 17 seconds left to work. Can he get to that 22.88 meter mark?
The key to this event is a good, clean start. He got that, but this incline is a killer.
And he will come up short. That's the timer. Eddie Hall of Great Britain stumbles. Needing help keeping his feet. Puts him in third with a distance of 20.25 meters here in the truck pull.
Gave it everything he had. It happened to everyone before him, and it also happened to him. He hit the part of the course where the small hill starts and the momentum of the truck just died. From there, any meters picked up came down to toughness and will.
The final competitor is Brian Shaw of the USA, the overall leader after 2 events. The Giant from Colorado is a 2-time champ and knows that a 3rd title would put him in exclusive company. He would tie our very own Bill Kazmaier for most by an American. The overall record is the 5 posted by Mariusz Pudzianowski of Poland, Zydrunas Savickas of Lithuania, and the 2 Icelandic legends there, John Paul Sigmarsson and Magnus for Magnusson, all have 4.
You see Brian Shaw there taking that strain. Again, a nice clean start using all of his body. 3 strains there. If anyone is going to get the truck over the finish line, it's going to be this guy because he's got the frame to do it. He's 6'8", 415 pounds. So I guess all that matters to Brian is passing the 22.88 meter mark, as that would give him the win. I love his rhythm here. Those arms, legs, even the breathing. Everything is in sync for Brian Shaw. He's looked so determined throughout this entire competition, especially here in the final.
He's approaching Savickas' mark to beat, but he's running out of momentum. This is going to be tight. Shaw the finish. And he did it. Big Brian Shaw wins the truck pull.
Yes!
He gets confirmation.
Yes!
23.84 meters.
Yes!
Nearly 1 meter better than Big Z. The truck pull is the second straight event to go in the win column for American Brian Shaw. Zydrunas of Lithuania was second. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson third. Great Britain's Eddie Hall took fourth. Bill Kazmaier standing by with a satisfied Brian Shaw.
Brian, one of the heaviest truck pulls ever, 61.6. Did you ever pull anything like that?
That was really tough at the end there. You know, I think this heat and humidity has taken it out of the guys, and there's just not a lot left in your arms and legs when you get done. But I had to dig deep and got the distance I needed, so that was important.
2 event wins for you. How important is that to you?
Oh, it's huge, but we're only halfway, you know, so I want every point I can get, and I'm going to go and rest up here and get ready for the next event.
Fantastic job. Keep it up.
Thanks, Kaz.
So at the halfway point, Shaw is out front on the overall scoreboard. He has taken 29 out of a maximum of 30 points to this point. Bjornsson is in second, but trails by 3. The deficit for the third place Savickas is 5.5 points. Hall is in fourth place. After his victory in the truck pull, Brian Shaw remains in the driver's seat, but Zydrunas Savickas and Hafthor Julius Bjornsson remain very big obstacles on the Americans' quest for a third title. This is the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Welcome back. The city of Putrajaya, Malaysia supplies the spectacular backdrop for the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final. Coming up next, we'll switch gears to golf. It's the first leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs as CBS Sports takes you out to Edison, New Jersey for the Barclays. That's coming up next. But right here, Aaron, it's the power stairs.
And it's all about power, speed, and endurance. There are 3 495-pound weights resting on the ground that need to be carried one by one up 5 steps. Now, generally, the bigger, longer-limbed guys have the advantage.
From Lithuania,
Zydrunas Savickas enters the power stairs in third place overall. The 4-time champ still has time to chase down the leader, Brian Shaw. Opposite him is a guy who's been super consistent through 3 events, the 27-year-old Eddie Hall of Great Britain. 6 athletes are already in the books for this one, and it's Mike Burt currently in first place. The American is the only athlete to complete the 15-step course. JF Caron of Canada is second.
And for a big dude that's 6'3", 386, Big Z is pretty quick on his feet. Watch out for him here. And look at that hop technique that he's using. Eddie Hall seems to be still a little gas, maybe from the truck pull.
Eddie Hall is stepping. Big Z now doing the step after some hops. And now he's back to the hop technique. 495 pounds as he gets to his final one. Eddie Hall in a big-time struggle here.
But not the jackrabbit on the left side of the screen. Big Z from Lithuania making it look easy.
Zydrunas Savickas powers his way through this event. Eddie Hall still working on that second one. Now he'll go back to get the third. He's quickly running out of time. And this power stairs event is no joke, and Eddie Hall finding out firsthand.
5 seconds, Eddie. Go.
Down to his final 5 seconds.
It's almost like a little mini deadlift or Romanian deadlift, an event that Eddie Hall's strong in, but he struggled there.
Zydrunas Savickas, the new leader, 15 steps in 33.97 seconds. Eddie Hall accomplishes 13 steps and moves into 4th place here in the power stairs.
Big Z was impressive, man. I mean, look at the footwork by the big fella. He employs flawless technique for this event. It's a pressing action followed by a little hop that moves the weight up the stairs, and then repeat that again and again and again until you're standing up there triumphantly.
Now the final 2. Brian Shaw of the USA is the overall leader after 3 events. It has been nearly perfect to this point. Iceland's Hafthor Julius Bjornsson has been almost equally as good through 3 events. Bjornsson is in second place after 3. The mark both men are chasing is the 15 steps that Zydrunas Savickas covered in 33.97 seconds.
Look at the mountain. Unbelievable. Now, both of these guys are former basketball players, so that athleticism is clearly on display, especially for Hafthor, the Icelandic beast.
It's going to be tough for either one of these guys to match the time put out there by Big Z.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's going to happen. It's going to take an unbelievable effort here on these last 5 steps to try and get it.
Bjornsson closing in on the time, but he's late. He finishes ahead of Shaw, but not fast enough to match Big Z. Shaw finishes third in the power stairs, covering the 15 steps in 37.81. And Hafthor Julius Bjornsson settles for second, covering the steps in 35.37. 4 guys completed all 15 steps, but Zydrunas Savickas' unbelievable time of 33.97 earned the victory. Hafthor Julius Bjornsson second. Brian Shaw's third-place finish was his worst so far in the final. Let's go to Kaz with the winner.
See, an absolute monster event. 495 pounds. Can you walk us through it?
Yes, it was a good event. I trained a lot this event, and I have good stamina this time. And now we have 2 good events for me, especially log lift and stones. So I'm looking forward.
You're right back in this. Are you going to take your 5th title?
Yeah, I came for this. First 2 events was not so good because I have problem with my back. But now I feel much better, and I will do my best.
Well, that was a fantastic display of power, agility, and athletic ability. It was really awesome.
Thank you.
Shaw continues to lead with 4 of 6 events completed, but his grip on a possible 3rd title is loosened, with his closest competitors narrowing the gap. The American has 37 points, then it's Bjornsson with 35 who possesses second, Savickas third with a total of 33.5. Zydrunas Savickas had a big hill to climb if he wanted to get back into contention. Consider it job done. The 4-time champ is lingering just 3.5 points behind his arch rival Brian Shaw. We'll be right back with more of the Commerce World's Strongest Man final in Putrajaya, Malaysia. Welcome back to the Commerce World's Strongest Man final. Coming to you from Putrajaya, Malaysia. The 5th of 6 events is the log press.
This log press is for max weight, so the weight's going to be escalating as long as our athletes are producing successful lifts. They'll want to take the log from their knees to their chest and then press it overhead as quickly as possible.
And that guy stalking around the stage is Hafthor Julius Bjornsson. The Icelandic superstar is in 2nd place after 4 events. But before his attempt, let's get caught up. Only Dimitar Savatinov has completed the 429 pounds that Bjornsson, Eddie Hall, Zydrunas Savickas, and Brian Shaw are about to attempt. Everyone else has been eliminated.
Brent, adding to the difficulty, keep in mind that this is a natural log made out of wood, so it's never going to be perfectly balanced.
Another one of these cartoonish events. But this thing is no laughing matter. Bjornsson gets eliminated. His best lift, 396.
He got it to his chest pretty easily, but he never looked comfortable with that weight. The power just wasn't there when he finally was ready to press.
And now the leader in the overall standings, Brian Shaw. And this is huge for the man from Colorado because it could allow him to increase his lead over Bjornsson, who was just eliminated.
Yeah, and I'll see your Bjornsson and raise you as Zydrunas Savickas, who's also in hot pursuit, because he'll be probably lifting this weight and many more. Big Z is one of the most exceptional static powerlifters in the world.
429-pound log. Shaw will try to throw it up over his shoulders right here.
Most of these guys can get it there, but this is where you need that leg drive and upper body pressing power. Those big shoulders, Shaw gives it an attempt. It's going to be hard for him to get this one.
There's only so many chances, and he's unsuccessful at 429. So, Brian Shaw eliminated with the best lift at 396.
Yeah, and you see he's there pleading his case for another attempt with referee Colin Bryce to no avail. And you could really tell how much Brian Shaw wanted it, but he just couldn't get everything firing at the same time. Sometimes it's just not going to happen, even when it's a weight that you're capable of lifting.
That takes us to Eddie Hall of Great Britain, who's in 4th place overall after 4 events.
Look at those massive shoulder caps. You can just look at him and know he's a good presser.
Zydrunas Savickas is obviously a good presser, and he's waiting his turn. Eddie Hall at 429 pounds. Eddie Hall. 429 for Eddie Hall to tie Sabatinov for the lead. And Colin Bryce, you just mentioned, comes out to help him.
Had to drop to a knee, gave it everything he had. Now, everyone knows you're supposed to use your lower body, but Eddie took a different approach. I don't need my stinking legs. I'll just use my shoulders.
Impressive power. Now the four-time champion, Zydrunas Savickas. He's next at 429 pounds. Big Z is in third place overall. But if he's successful here, he's guaranteed to gain ground on both Brian Shaw and Hafthor Julius Bjornsson.
Wow, Stover, are you saying if he's successful?
Yeah, exactly. Business as usual, like a walk in the park for Savickas. Successful, and now he's one of the co-leaders at 429.
Now, I have to remind everybody that this weighs 429 pounds, and look how easily he's able to press it. One of the best in the world.
In one motion, ridiculous. Now Eddie Hall. He's going to bow out of the log press. He's satisfied with finishing in at least third and could be higher depending on what happens with the other two guys still standing. Dimitar Sabatinov of Bulgaria is one of those guys still going. He's in 8th place overall, but has stepped up big in the log press.
Man, has he ever. He's only 5'9", but what he lacks in height, he more than makes up for with his heart.
Sabatinov up to the shoulders.
This is where it starts, right here.
451 pounds, and he can't get it. So he's eliminated with a best lift of 429. Tied with Hall, and at least for the moment with Savickas.
They got it to his chest, but then he lost his stability, trying to get his footing there. That takes away energy, gets overextended beyond his center of gravity, and just doesn't have enough left in the tank to get the press.
So Zydrunas Savickas is either going to win the log press outright at 451 or settle for a three-way tie with Sabatinov and Hall. And if he makes it, he'll be the new leader overall.
As good of a presser as he is, watch his lower body. That will be key.
He got it. 451 for Zydrunas Savickas to win the log press, and he's #1 now in the overall standings.
Man, sometimes you just run out of superlatives and things to say. Lifting a 451-pound log just shouldn't be this easy. But Big Z and the look on his face says it all.
And he's with Bill Kazmaier.
Big Z, 451 pounds, the only guy to lift that over your head. It's got to make you feel good.
Yes, it's my favorite event. I love the log lift.
You're now the new leader. Are you going to win your 5th championship here at World's Strongest Man?
I came to win, and I do my best to do this.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
With the best lift of 451, Zydrunas Savickas wins his 2nd straight event. Eddie Hall and Dimitar Sabatinov topped out at 429, share 2nd. Then it's a big group that was successful at 396, Bjornsson, Burke, and Shaw. And with his lead now gone, Brian Shaw is with Kaz.
Brian, you've been in the lead most of the competition. You're a half point down now going into the last event. What are your plans?
Yeah, I mean, I gave up some points in log. I was pretty confident. I just lost my balance a little. I mean, no excuses. I didn't get it done. So, you know, it'll be close. It's just me and Z and the Stones. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, you're all the chips are on the table. Let's see who can get it done now.
Well, you've put on a great show. Take it all the way home.
Thanks, Kaz.
So with just one event remaining, we have a new leader, Zydrunas Savickas. He's got 43.5 points. The man in second, Brian Shaw, has 43. One of those guys to be champion unless both slip up. Then Hafthor Julius Bjornsson is lurking and could capitalize. It's no surprise that one of the 3 true superstars in strength athletics will be crowned champion. But will it be a first title for Hafthor Julius Bjornsson? Brian Shaw winning his 3rd, or Zydrunas Savickas claiming a 5th? We'll find out when the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final returns to Putrajaya, Malaysia.
The 2015 Commerce World's Strongest Man on CBS Sports is sponsored by the Commerce Hotel and Casino, Las Vegas Style Entertainment, Los Angeles Attractions.
Welcome back to the Commerce World's Strongest Man final in Putrajaya, Malaysia. And it's the Atlas Stones where a champion will be crowned.
And really, this is where it will have to be earned, Brent. It's nearly 2,000 pounds worth of stones that need to be picked up off the ground and placed on platforms. Whoever wins here will have to show off power, speed, and endurance.
So the scoreboard shows that just a half point separates four-time champion Zydrunas Savickas from three-time champion Brian Shaw. One of them will add another title unless both men make major mistakes to leave an opening for Hafthor Julius Bjornsson. Eddie Hall of Great Britain is in fourth place after 5 events and has a chance at finishing on the podium. Right now, Hafthor Julius Bjornsson seems locked into third place, but if he unleashes a special run in the Atlas Stones, it could put pressure on Savickas and Shaw. All the last 2 heats have recorded their scores here, and the USA's Mike Burke is the only athlete to complete all 5 stones.
And if you want to be a champion this year, you're going to need to get all 5 stones, but do so, to your point, Brent, without making a mistake.
And right off the bat, Bjornsson, who's the best in the world at this event, has a bobble.
But Eddie Hall doesn't. He looks strong, that big upper back, picking it up off the floor in one motion with that last 395-pound stone.
On to the 4th, and another bobble from Bjornsson. This is disastrous for the giant from Iceland. Meanwhile, Eddie Hall, a phenomenal job in the stones. But the bigger story, Bjornsson's chances of winning World's Strongest Man in 2015 are all but gone. Eddie Hall, current leader in the Atlas Stones, gets all 5 in 24.84. But Hafthor bobbled 2 of them, the 1st and the 4th. He's in 2nd in the stones, but his struggle is costly.
It was probably going to take one of his trademark marauding runs through the stones for Hafthor to have a chance at the title, but he just ran into all sorts of problems with the 440-pounder. And how about Eddie Hall? He was a beast through those stones.
The overall leader, Zydrunas Savickas, gunning for his 5th World's Strongest Man title, which would tie him for the most all-time. Brian Shaw has 2 titles. He has said throughout this entire competition that this is the one he wants most. The winner here in the Atlas Stones will win the title of World's Strongest Man in 2015 as long as they get all 5 stones in under 50.23 seconds.
So history is on the line here, Brent. It's very important that these guys start clean, and they're very even and very clean through 2 stones. A little bobble there by Big Z on the left side. That could be costly.
Big Z now trailing Shaw by a fairly wide margin. Brian Shaw, if he can get the 5th one up here, he wins the title of World's Strongest Man, and he does.
And Zydrunas is going to look back on that little bobble on that 3rd 395-pound stone as a huge missed opportunity to add to his legacy, even though he's widely regarded as the best this sport's ever known.
A lot of respect between 2 phenomenal champions. But 2015 is the year of Brian Shaw, his 3rd World's Strongest Man title, which ties him for 5th all-time with our Bill Kazmaier. While Zydrunas Savickas finishes 2nd for the 6th time and misses out on his 5th World's Strongest Man title.
There can only be one choice for the Commerce Hotel and Casino big moment, and it's Brian Shaw putting the finishing touches on a monster performance when it was needed most, when it delivered a title.
So the Atlas Stones was Brian Shaw's 3rd victory in the final. Eddie Hall was 2nd. A couple of bobbles meant that Hafthor Julius Bjornsson finished 3rd. Zydrunas Savickas saw a title slip away with his 5th place result. Right now, it's the champion with Kaz.
Brian, do or die coming into the Stones. What was your approach?
That was it. It had to go. You know, I mean, a lot of pressure coming into this, and I'll tell you what, me and Zydrunas have been here before, and I've come out on top, you know, pretty much every time. So I knew I had a good shot, but stepped up and got it done. That was big.
What does it mean to you to be the World's Strongest Man winner today and 3rd time in history?
This is big for me. It was a dream to get to the World's Strongest Man, now to win it 3 times, and, you know, to match you is, I mean, it's a dream come true. I don't even know really what to say. I'm excited.
Well, America and the whole world are proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Kaz. It means a lot. Thank you.
The final standings will show that Brian Shaw won the title by 3.5 points, but in reality, it was so much closer than that. Zydrunas Savickas and Hafthor Julius Bjornsson pushed the American every step of the way. Shaw survived the three-way battle and walked away with his third career title. And now to present the Commerce Trophy to our champion, here's John Griffo, the Director of Business Development at the Commerce Hotel and Casino in Los Angeles.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 World
And the 2015 Commerce World's Strongest Man champion is Brian Shaw. The American was recognized for his seemingly unlimited potential when he arrived in 2008, and now it's all become reality as he takes yet another step on the path to becoming a legend. We anticipated an epic battle between the planet's best strongmen, and that's exactly what materialized. In the end, it was American Brian Shaw who collected his third Commerce World's Strongest Man title. For Aaron Taylor, Bill Kazmaier, and our entire CBS Sports team, I'm Brent Stover. So long from Putrajaya, Malaysia.